Hello, welcome, I'm Mark Stay. In previous videos I've been talking about doing 42 Comic-Cons in 2025 and all the things that I've learned along the way, and I did promise you good people a tour of my table. So apologies for the cramped space, but this is the only room in the house that we've got quite low ceilings. This is the only room in the house where we can fit the banners. But yes, come closer, come closer. So let's start with this actually. We're going to bypass the table, we're going to go to the trolley. This baby has saved my life many times. I've got it on a certain online retailer. I'll put a link in the comments if you want to have a look it up. This thing is really sturdy. I went for the version with the big chunky wheels, and it looks big, yes, but it does all fit in this bag, because what you do is you whip this out and then magic. But that thing fits in the back of a car, can fit usually 3 or 4 boxes, and going to and from the car to the venue, it's an absolute miracle. So trolley, very important. So let's get to the table itself. Now look, we've got this lovely cloth here, tablecloth, which is showing its age a bit now. It's getting a little bit baggy, and it's got the Witches of Woodville on there. Basically, I put that together on Canva and then sent it to this company, who then printed it and sent it to me. But now I've got 2 series with the End of Magic. I'm probably just going to put my name on there because, you know, ego. This company was called Table Covers Now, I think. Again, I'll put a link below so you can have a look and check it out. So I've had that for a couple of years. It's lasted. It's getting a bit baggy now. The bottom's kind of flaking away, but any table cover will do, you know, just a black cloth, a tablecloth or something. Some venues insist on it because if you tuck things underneath, they don't want it looking messy underneath the table. As for the table itself, a lot of venues, in fact most of them, provide an actual table, but maybe have one on standby just in case they don't. Every now and then there's a Comic-Con that says you're going to have to bring your own table. Very unusual, but it does happen. In terms of display, I keep it simple. Just the books. I know I talked elsewhere about people will have mugs and merchandise and all sorts of other stuff. I prefer to keep the focus on the books, less clutter. So this is my series, The Witches of Woodville. So there's 5 of them here. I keep them in a sort of section together, and then I've got the End of Magic books here, and sometimes I'll have my other books at the back depending on the venue and stock and what have you. Now these are board printed on polystyrene. I got these printed at the Pro Design Studio in Herne Bay. They're really good. They're very cheap. Again, these are things I've used on social media, and I knocked them up in Canva. This always starts a conversation, definitely not written by AI, and the good news is no one wants AI in their books, so that's good. But there's all sort of little talking points about the books. It gives people an idea of what the books are all about. But I put bookmarks in between as well, so people can pick up and take bookmarks if they want, and then different bookmarks for the other series. And if you've got a new book coming soon, then maybe get a postcard made up with a little QR code so people can get on a mailing list or whatever, or pre-order it, or whatever it is you need them to do. So Emma, if we come around the back, so it can get very cramped backstage. What I have here, simple stand here, and I'll print these out with the multi-buy deal. So all Woodville novels, that, you know, make sure people know they're getting a bargain. Same here, Comic-Con special price. You're only getting it on the day if you buy it from me now. That's the important message. And my other books, which I don't have with me here. I print this up very simple, black and white, because depending on the con, I may do different offers. Now, one little tip: if you are self-publishing, do not print the price on the back of the book. That way you reserve the right to up the price accordingly, especially if someone like Ingram Spark suddenly puts up their paper costs, which they've just done. This little bit of anti-back hand gel, you don't want to catch the lurgy. Wait till the customer's gone. But if you've got someone who's coughing into their hand all the time, you know, you don't want to catch the lurgies, and also you don't want to give lurgies to anyone else. A little notebook for just jotting down sales and keeping a note of anything that might be handy for next time. But for totting up sales, that's really important. I have one Sharpie. I used to have sort of Sharpies all over the place, but what you find is you pick up the one that was actually duff. So just having one that works to hand is really handy. And having a pile of post-it notes. Never assume anyone's gender. Never assume any name is spelled a certain way. Always ask how the name is spelled, because you can guarantee the one time you assume it, you'll get it wrong, and that's a book wasted. I've also got things like business cards here. So I've got little cards for things that I do, like my podcasts and what have you, and I can hand them out to people because, you know, you always know when you're talking to a writer, because someone will say to you, oh, he's traditionally published or self-published. And if they use traditionally published, that's always someone in the industry who knows what they're talking about. So I have little things here for my podcasts and what have you, so and business cards as well. That's my book stamp that I use for the Witches of Woodville library. People like a stamp. Alan Stroud was asking about POS systems. So I use the little sum up device here. Now what's happened in the last couple of years is there's now a sum up app on the phone, which is filming this now. I take payments on the phone 9 times out of 10. You don't need this anymore. Every now and then though, someone will be asked, because they've been spending a lot of money at a Comic-Con, their bank is going, what are you doing? So every now and then they have to enter a PIN number, which is when this device comes in handy. Just always keep it charged, which means always have a little battery pack and cable on hand as well, not just for this but for your phone as well, because power drains very, very quickly. Bookmarks, I give these out like candy, because what happens is people come into a Comic-Con and they say, oh, I'm just doing a circuit and then I'll come back. But if you give them a bookmark, they remember who you are and they do come back. Now, as I mentioned on a previous video, I used to have sign up to my newsletter on the back, but of course people haven't read the books. Why are they going to sign up to the newsletter? So what I have now are quotes from Goodreads and a little QR code to buy the books. So I've actually seen people pick these up, walk away, read the back, go, oh, and come back and actually buy the books. So these work much, much harder. What else have we got? Water for drinking, for sipping. The stands that I put the books on as well, just get these online. These, you know, have more than you actually need in the end. Another one of these for display. Also, underneath the table, I'll have my lunchbox for snacks and things. I have bags, because people love a bag, to put the books in as well. And then this is where I'll keep the spare stock as well, in boxes underneath the table. And I have one box with all the spare bookmarks and things like that, and my cash flow as well. So have a good stack of pennies available, although fewer people actually want pennies these days, but my traditionally published books are $9.99, $10.99, so people want pennies back for those. And then the banners, of course, the banners as well. I got these on Vistaprint. They're showing their age a bit now. Again, I've had these for about 4 years, each of them. They're very tall, so if you're a shorter person, they can be difficult to put up. The big lesson I've learned from these is don't put the quotes at the bottom because they just get hidden. Put the quotes at the top where people can see them. And that's it. That is my... Oh, the high-vis as well. Particularly with the bigger venues, when you're setting up places like the Excel Centre or the Olympia in London or the NEC in Birmingham, when you're setting up, it's by law you have to have a high-vis jacket, so make sure you get one of these as well. And that, I think, is it. Yeah, there's usually a chair here too, but I remain standing, but I'll talk more about that in the next video. So that, folks, is a tour of my table. What do you think?